The film opens by introducing a beautiful woman named ADALINE who works at a government library. From the very beginning, she is shown creating fake identity documents using a different name, address, and date of birth. She carefully keeps her real identity hidden from everyone. The name she currently uses is Jennifer. While watching a video inside the library, ADALINE begins reflecting on her past. The story shifts into a flashback. In January 1908, in San Francisco, America, ADALINE is born. Many years later, on June 16, 1929, while visiting the construction site of the Golden Gate Bridge, she meets a man named James. Over time, they grow close and eventually get married. 3 years into the marriage, ADALINE gives birth to a daughter named Fleming. Several years later, in 1937, a major accident occurs at the same bridge where ADALINE once met James. James dies in that tragic incident, leaving ADALINE widowed. 10 months after her husband's death, when ADALINE is 29 years old, she travels to California with her daughter. While driving, she suddenly notices snowfall in an area where snow has never fallen before. The unexpected weather causes her to lose control of the car, which crashes into a nearby river. Moments later, ADALINE's breathing nearly stops. Her heartbeat weakens, her body temperature drops drastically, and at that exact moment, a powerful lightning strike hits the car, releasing an enormous amount of electricity. As a result of this rare event, her heart starts beating again, blood circulation resumes, and she regains consciousness. After this incident, a strange change begins to occur in ADALINE's life. As time passes and everyone around her continues to age, her own age completely stops. From that day onward, she never ages again. ADALINE remains confused about what is happening to her, while her daughter Fleming continues to grow older normally. Gradually, people start noticing the unusual difference. At first, ADALINE lies, claiming that yoga and healthy living help her maintain her youth. However, as the years pass and she appears 45 while looking exactly the same, suspicion grows. A police officer becomes doubtful after noticing that her appearance never changes. He keeps her ID at the office and asks her to report to the police station. ADALINE immediately realizes that staying in a familiar place is no longer safe. Consequently, she leaves California with her daughter Fleming and returns to San Francisco. There, ADALINE uses her intelligence to take a job at a medical school. She believes this is the best way to understand why her body does not age. She studies numerous medical books, hoping to find an explanation. Eventually, she realizes that science offers no clear answer for a body that stops aging. She accepts the difficult truth that while everyone else grows older, she never will. Life continues this way until one day, agents from an American intelligence agency track her down. They detain her after discovering the existence of a woman who does not age. They plan to conduct experiments on her body. ADALINE quickly understands that their intentions are dangerous. While being transported, she manages to escape from the vehicle and flee. She realizes she can no longer survive using a single identity. She forms a plan. ADALINE tells her daughter Fleming that they can no longer live together and must cut off contact for a while. She instructs Fleming to tell others that her mother went to Europe and never returned. She assures her daughter that she will reconnect someday using a different name, and at that time Fleming must introduce her not as her mother, but as a friend. From then on, ADALINE lives exactly as planned. Every 10 years, she changes her location and identity, constantly hiding her true existence. Her current name is Jennifer, and 7 weeks later she plans to move again under the name Susan. This explains the opening scene where she is seen creating multiple identity cards. Fleming is now much older, but whenever possible, mother and daughter secretly meet. No matter what happens, a mother remains a mother. One day, at a New Year's party in New York, ADALINE meets a man named Ellis. Ellis becomes interested in her and wants a relationship. However, ADALINE, having spent most of her life running from place to place, refuses to commit. Ellis persistently pursues her and eventually she agrees. A relationship forms and ADALINE promises to visit his home someday. Ellis openly shares details about his own life, but whenever he asks about ADALINE's personal past, she avoids answering. He has no idea that the woman he loves is old enough to be his mother. That night, they share a brief moment of closeness. Soon after, ADALINE makes it clear that she cannot remain in a relationship. On her way home, she looks out of the car window and suddenly recalls a distant memory. Years ago, a young man once waited at the same spot with a ring box in his hand. Back then, ADALINE noticed him from afar and left in a taxi. That moment holds a mystery that will be revealed later. Despite everything, ADALINE begins to fall in love with Ellis. Around this time, her loyal dog, her only constant companion through the years, dies. Devastated, she decides that before becoming emotionally attached to anyone again, she must change her name and location once more. Unable to find ADALINE, Ellis eventually tracks down her address and visits her home. He confesses his feelings, but ADALINE rejects him again. Ellis leaves quietly, heartbroken. Later, ADALINE meets her daughter Fleming. She admits that after decades of running and hiding, she is exhausted. Fleming urges her to stop running, reminding her that no one is chasing her anymore. ADALINE finally explains everything about Ellis, including her fear that while she remains unchanged, Ellis will grow old, and one day discover the truth and possibly fear or reject her. With Fleming's insistence, ADALINE eventually apologizes to Ellis and repairs the relationship. One day, Ellis invites ADALINE to attend his parents' wedding anniversary celebration. From this point, the story takes a dramatic turn. At Ellis's home, ADALINE discovers that his father is William, the same man she was once deeply involved with many years ago in London. Back then, ADALINE and William shared a relationship. The man seen long ago waiting with a ring was William himself. He had planned to propose to her. However, ADALINE was unable to reveal the truth about her condition. Fearing that William would be terrified if he knew, she fled using another identity. William truly loved her, and that unfinished past now stands face to face with the present. William sees ADALINE again after so many years and becomes completely stunned. Instinctively, he calls her Ellen, the name by which he once knew her. However, ADALINE immediately controls the situation. Using her presence of mind, she stops William and explains that he is mistaken. She quickly invents a story claiming her name is Jenny Ellen and saying that Ellen was her mother, a lie created on the spot to escape suspicion. She says her mother once lived in London before moving to Paris, and that many people often say she looks exactly like her mother. She explains that this resemblance must be the reason for his shock. She then adds that her real name is not Ellen, and that her mother Ellen died 6 years ago. At first, William feels deeply unsettled. He had loved the woman he knew as Ellen and knew her intimately, and the resemblance is far too perfect to ignore. Even if this woman claims to be her daughter, such an identical likeness feels impossible. As he listens further, ADALINE begins to realize that leaving him the way she did years ago was a mistake. William had suffered deeply. The harsh truth becomes clear. People often treat love too lightly, letting go without considering how much pain the other person will endure. Although ADALINE left William easily, William never stopped loving her. Even after all these years, his feelings remain unchanged. In his personal life, William is highly successful. He is a renowned astrophysicist, researching planets, stars, and the universe. He has achieved everything except love. Somewhere deep within him, old memories suddenly resurface. Seeing that familiar face again after decades pushes ADALINE into severe emotional turmoil. Her life now stands at a strange and complicated crossroads, where she is romantically involved with the son of the man she once loved. Then an unexpected incident occurs. One day, William notices a scar on ADALINE's hand. His mind begins to race. He cannot believe what he is seeing. Years ago, when he and ADALINE were together, they once traveled through a forest. There, ADALINE had deeply cut her hand on a thorny branch at that exact spot. At the time, William was a medical student and had stitched the wound himself. Deep scars do not disappear even if age does not progress. Seeing the same scar in the same place makes everything clear to him. William realizes there must be a hidden truth. A mother and daughter looking alike can be accepted, but an identical scar in the exact same location is impossible. He confronts ADALINE and asks her to reveal the truth. At that moment, ADALINE feels as if the sky collapses on her. She understands that she has been exposed. Breaking down, she admits that she is the same woman William loved years ago, the woman he once knew under a different name. She explains that she has no answer for why she still looks the same, because she herself does not know why her aging stopped. She explains that she was once completely normal like everyone else, until one day her aging suddenly stopped for unknown reasons. She admits that she ran away because she could not explain this truth and feared he would not believe her. She also feared that if people or the government discovered her condition, she would be treated like an experiment, and her life would be destroyed. Out of fear, she fled and asks for forgiveness. William realizes that ADALINE might run away again now that he knows the truth. He urges her to stop running, to explain everything to Ellis, and to stay. He reminds her that although she has lived for many years, she has never truly lived a life. However, ADALINE cannot absorb his words. The storm she has suppressed inside her for years now turns violent. Emotionally shattered, she decides she does not want to ruin Ellis's life. She writes him a letter and leaves the house. William tries to stop her, reminding her that Ellis loves her deeply. He tells her that his own life is nearly over, but Ellis is still young. ADALINE does not listen. She gets into her car and drives away. Ellis receives the letter and realizes that ADALINE has left him. Despite William's attempts to explain everything, Ellis eventually sets out to find her. Meanwhile, as ADALINE drives, memories from her past begin flashing before her eyes like scenes from a film. One memory after another overwhelms her. She completely breaks down. She feels that she has gained nothing in life. Since gaining consciousness of the world, she has only lost things. Loneliness and pain have been her constant companions. She has spent years hiding, running from place to place, losing everyone she ever loved to time. Even her daughter Fleming had to leave her after going to college out of fear of society. When she found Ellis after many years, she briefly forgot her loneliness and began dreaming like a normal person again. She realizes she has had enough. She decides she will no longer run and will stop hurting the people she loves. She resolves to live freely without fear. She pulls her car over and calls Fleming. She tells her that Fleming was right and that she will no longer run. Fleming feels relieved and happy. However, moments later, as ADALINE distractedly turns the car, a truck crashes into her vehicle with full force. The car is thrown off the road. ADALINE is flung out of the car and lands at a distance. Once again, she suffers from hypothermia. Her body temperature drops sharply, blood circulation stops, and her heartbeat becomes extremely faint. After 107 years, ADALINE clinically dies. At that moment, help arrives. Despite repeated efforts, she does not regain consciousness. An ambulance arrives and medical personnel administer powerful electric shocks in a final attempt to restart her heart. As a result, her heartbeat returns. She is taken to the hospital. After some time, she regains consciousness and sees Ellis. She finally reveals her feelings and explains the truth about her condition. Because Ellis loves her deeply, he accepts everything and chooses to stay with her. 1 year passes. ADALINE, Ellis, and Fleming now live together in the same house. While getting ready to attend a New Year's party, ADALINE notices gray strands appearing in her hair. She realizes that her life is now following a normal human course and that her aging has resumed. She understands that she is finally living like an ordinary person again. The film ends here. The reason ADALINE's aging once stopped becomes clear. Unexplained cosmic explosions constantly occur in space, releasing energy that science cannot fully explain. The lightning strike that hit ADALINE's car carried an unusually massive amount of energy which altered her body. That excess energy prevented normal aging. When her heart stopped the second time and the electric shock revived her, that energy left her body. As a result, she returned to a normal human state and her aging resumed.